everyone, so today I'll be starting this series about my top 5 insert favorite literary things here. So today I'll be talking about my top 5 literary competitions. So it's anything from like a fight to the death to trying to romance your way to becoming queen. So my first one is A Dress for the Wicked by Autumn Krause, and it's about these young girls who want to join this big fashion house, and it's just amazing. I really enjoyed it, and it's not like those like fantasy where she's trying to become princess. She wants to become a businesswoman, and I think that is such a fun narrative, especially in times right now. So I highly recommend. I don't want to give away my favorite part, which happens to be a spoiler, but it does have this big message of you might not like to work with someone, but sometimes you're gonna have to work with people you don't like, and then sometimes they could end up becoming your greatest allies. So highly recommend. Next up we have The Selection, a classic. It's about America Singer who's drawn randomly from a lottery, and she has to try and romance her way to become queen, but she doesn't actually really want to. So she's really just there for the food, which I find hilarious. But it's such a fun book. It's something I reread constantly, and I just highly recommend. And I mean, it would look great on your shelf anyway, so you should get it. Next up, we have Grave Maidens by Kelly Kuhn. It's about 3 people who are chosen to die with the king, like in ancient Egyptian culture where the queen would die when the pharaohs did. But the main character's little sister is chosen, and the main character's really the only person in her mind that knows that this isn't a good thing. You shouldn't want to die just for like honor. So she goes and schemes her way into the palace. So she tries to save her sister from this fate. Things don't go exactly as planned, which is why this is a duology. But I highly recommend. I really, really love this book. Not as much the second book. I feel like this could have been a standalone as much as it could have been, as much as it is a duology. But highly recommend, and it's very pretty. I love the little design here. I personally have figured out what it's supposed to be, so if you figure out, please let me know. Alright, for place number 4, The Hunger Game by Suzanne Collins. Yes, it is also a classic like The Selection, a lot less fantasy and more dystopian, but it is a gorgeous story. I love the whole trilogy, and the movies are pretty good too, but this book is so close to my heart. It's one of the first few like YA that I like really read and really fell in love with, and it's such a great thing that Katniss, no matter what she's put through, never loses the fire in her and never really becomes that feminine person that the Capitol wants her to be. She always fights for what she wants, and I could do without the love triangle. But you know, this book was written far before love triangles became like a big no-no, so give it a break. Highly recommend. And then Crossbones by Kimberly Vale. A really great pirate book, and I don't normally I'm not really a big fan of pirate books. I think that it's hard for people to come up with a new narrative about pirates because it's always like the same thing. But this one, something I hadn't heard of before, it's about this group of pirates so the king dies, the king of the pirates dies, and then there has to be a competition for his crown. And then there's this girl, because she's technically eligible, but no one wants her to win, except for herself, obviously. But the goal is to find this crown. I think it's a crown. And she has to team up with some other pirates, and it's a really cool, I won't spoil the ending, I won't tell you if she gets it or not, but it's a really cool book. And it's something very new. It's something that I haven't read before, which I found absolutely so refreshing. So I highly recommend this book. And I know it says Wattpad books, but it didn't feel like one. It felt very polished. It felt very professional. So I know Wattpad isn't bad. It isn't bad. You shouldn't like just hate on a book because it's from Wattpad. But this book is, it won't even feel like the stereotypical Wattpad book, I should say. It's super good, so I highly recommend. Well, that has been my top 5 literary competitions. So I hope you enjoyed it, and see you soon. Bye!